So we're in the backyard now, getting ready to do some more mods to the Bushwhacker. We are starting with the electrical. Chris is up there installing the solar panels onto the rail for me. I'm gonna install the switch onto the toolbox and then wire that all up. That way we'll be able to be off grid if we need to be while we're camping. Went to Harbor Freight to make it work. Got these things that way we can hook it up to the panels. We scooted them over. I'm gonna keep on this side, and on that space it should be big enough to put like the Harbor Freight Apache like rifle case that we'll use for storage on the top. Those are the two 100-watt panels side by side. Gonna run the wire down the front end. This crazy animal looking for lizards. Did you find it? Okay. And then my boy Snoop. So yeah, we're gonna run the wires down here behind the camper. I took everything apart from the thing that I had rigged up before. I took the wiring apart in there. So I'm gonna cut a square here like I did in this, and then put that panel here and make it look nice and clean, and running everything else from the inside. I'm gonna clear everything out, so it's gonna be sitting back against that. Everything's gonna have a nice clean look and keep it out of the elements. Alright, so it took us a few attempts to get it just right, but we rather cut a little bit each time than to cut too much and then ruin the whole thing. But it's looking good. It's nice and flat. This is not perfectly flat either, but once we put the caulking in it and the screws, you're going to be able to turn on these lights or whatever it is that we hook up to these switches, and it's going to be nice and fancy. Uh-oh. Howdy, folks. He just took a dive in the pool. Whew, the hot, Snoop. You ready to go inside? Go inside, buddy. Get the dog door. All right, so now I'm just drilling in the holes for where the box is going to be bolted in. Chris is just filing down the sharp edges. All right, so now I'm going to take some black spray paint and I'm going to touch up all the corners and the holes, that way it doesn't get rusted. I don't want to spray the whole thing because it's a different color. All right, now I'm going to get some black caulk. I'm going to caulk around it, that way there's no leaks. So I got the caulking done around it. I'm going to caulk it again from the outside just to ensure that there's not going to be any water penetrating. So if you look in here,
which one first?
This is how we're going to end up doing it. Chris and I are going to tighten up the bolts now. We'll do this one first.
Good?
Yep. And then we're gonna hook up the electrical. Okay, so I moved everything as far as the electrical components from the side of the house into the garage. That way I could just do it in here because I've had access to everything I need for the electrical. Now I don't have to keep running back and forth. So I have everything set up on the table. I'm gonna use this board here. I'm gonna cut it to the size that I need it and get everything nice and neat on here. That way, when I open up the toolbox, I can see everything that's going on. If there's a blown fuse or anything, everything's gonna be set up here. That way, I can access it easily and it's going to look nice and neat. All right, so I decided to go ahead and just use the holes that were already here, and then I'll just make this look a little bit neater later. Each one's gonna have their own way coming through, and that way they're not cramped too much. I put it underneath, came back out, goes to the fuse box. So that is your load going out, okay? This is what it looks like up underneath there. I'm gonna tighten those up though. This was just trying to get it to come together. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up right now because we're hungry. I'm gonna get in the shower. We're gonna go grab a bite to eat, and then we'll continue this project in the morning. All right, so good morning. We're going to finish wiring up this electrical board here. Then we're gonna install it in the toolbox and hook everything up and see if it works. Don't want to over tighten it because then things can break inside and then you're gonna have a problem. So always do it by hand. And these other two, I'm gonna have to bring the solar panels. So I'm gonna have to do that when I get there because these other two belong to the solar panels. That's pretty good. Not going anywhere. Nice and neat. So I'm gonna go take this in the back. I'm gonna install the panels, put the battery on, and we're gonna see how it works. A little tight fit, but we're gonna get it. There we go. Fits in pretty good. I don't need all this room here, so I'm thinking about maybe cutting it around here, sliding it over. But for now, we're just gonna test run it, see how it does, see if it works. You guys are nuts. All right, so I found these were in the garage that Chris showed me yesterday. So these are actually the ones that go to these panels. You know, you have one for negative, one for positive. Sometimes they're reversed, so I'm gonna check that out. Look at this. You guys are nuts. What are you doing, Rand? Get out of there. Get out of there, buddy. You're a nutcase. All right, now we are going to test the solar panels. I'm going to make sure. See, this shows red is being positive. Already tested it, but just to show you, to make sure that you connect the right ones to the right terminal on the battery. So we look at the multimeter and that's showing negative. So that means this is reversed, right? Now I'm going to switch it up Now this is positive goes to the red, because sometimes they're reverse polarity. And then we're gonna look at this, and that's showing it's right, where positive is actually the red. So now this is what I was talking about. Now, see, this shows red too. This is the part that's gonna connect to the battery. This showing red too, but this is gonna go to the negative. So we gotta remember, this is the negative plug to charge. This is the negative plug because it doesn't fit. See, positive, it's not gonna fit there. So the negative, this is gonna be the negative. All right, so I put both leads on and made sure I knew which one was positive and negative. Then I'm just doing it for testing purposes. Eventually I'm gonna drill a hole behind that, bring it out so that way it can comes up here, plug it in. All right, so I've had it plugged in for a little bit because the battery was a little low. Solar's working. You can tell by that. It goes to the battery. Battery looks like it's pretty full at 12.9. I think we're good to go. I'm probably not going to use this battery because I have two AGM batteries. I think these are two 100 amp AGM batteries. So they've been sitting in the shed. I'm going to test them out, see if I could use them. That way we can have a lot more energy. And I'll end up using this for another project or selling it. So this is the piece that's going to be going on the outside. Here, solar's going to run up through that. So I'm going to cut out that, just the same way I did that. And then hook up the solar up underneath to come up. So I'll run the wires behind here and through the back underneath. That way everything looks nice and neat, and get those batteries installed. All right, so with these connectors here, I'll probably tie them up to the underneath the solar panels. That way we hide them a little bit, and then when we go to put the cover on here, it's a lot smaller, not as noticeable. So we just got done wiring the camper wiring. We drilled a hole, put a rubber grommet in there so it doesn't cut up the wires. And I just threw it on the battery. I'm gonna do a shut off, but for right now I just wanted to make sure it worked, and I'll end up doing a shut off on here, but I'm not gonna do that today. So I'm gonna put everything back together. I'm gonna let you look at the finished product. Okay, so here it is. I forgot to get the wires to bolt these down, but I'm going to do that. That way they're not shaking loose and they stay straight in there. I'll go back to Lowe's or Home Depot another time. And then nothing's wired to these fuses yet or to the switches over here yet, because I don't have anything that I need wired to that right now. Because that's going to be for like my rock lights and floodlights, or, you know, or extra chargers or whatever. We now have solar coming in. All these lights are good. Solar's coming in, batteries connected, and that's for the load that's probably going to the camper. But anyways, it's working. It's charging the battery right now. We got it set to the gel battery, which is the AGM batteries that I just replaced. We still got plenty of room in here. I ended up just putting the batteries next to each other there because I'm going to be packing this full of stuff too, and it's going to start to weigh it down. All right, but I'll probably put something over there so like stuff don't slide in and out, the batteries don't slide in and out. I'll probably just put like a block there, screw it in, keeps the batteries in place. But that's it. Let me show you. This will close. Still closes. I could lock it. All right. It works. As you can see, that's on. So we got the camper on its off-grid.
Huh? Howdy, folks.
We got the camper ready for off-grid. All right, so the panels are tightened down, zip tied them. I just gotta snip it up. And this is where the wires are coming from. Yes! It is, the wires are coming from here, down here. I'm gonna end up, I don't know, taping them down or putting like a cover over them eventually, but for now, that's just the way it's gonna be. It runs down from here, up under here, and into the, actually I'll tighten that up there, right into these glands here. And that's it. It's been hot, but here we go. Got some solar stuff, the panel. I think I'm gonna put like some insulation here because this gets too hot. Like put some type of, I don't know, insulation over it. I'll probably use something out of here. Use this for now to protect that from the heat. But eventually I'll just put it all up on here because it's really hot. But that's it. Just gonna fold in the awning, take this thing out, and Chris is gonna be using it on a camping trip tomorrow.